You promised these children Krabby the Clown, but all I saw out there was Cheapy the Cheapskate.
Hey, I ain't cheap. Now take this tomato back to the kitchen before it spoils.
What's up? It's your boy Ace, and in today's topic, I will be letting you guys in on the secrets of my flexible monthly budget and showing you how you can be using it to become more efficient with your monthly spending, as well as get rid of all of the stress surrounding your money. If you are new to the channel, welcome, shalom. Here at Ace Estate, I teach you the financial finesse, how to save and invest so that your life ain't a mess. If you get any value out of this video, make sure you subscribe as well as share it with somebody you know. And with that out the way, let's get to this money. Alright, so peep game, right, y'all? Long before I decided on real estate or even knew what a budget was, to be honest with you, I've always had a love-hate relationship with money. Ever since I was a teenager, I have been very, very strict on myself with my personal spending. I used to hate spending money on anything. I hated buying stuff. I hated paying for things, especially if I didn't plan to or if I didn't think it was needed or necessary. I remember even back in like middle school, I used to skip lunch some days so that I could save the money that I got from my allowance. A lot of my friends thought I was crazy and thought I was a cheap bastard. And thinking about it, I probably still think that, to be honest with you. But I felt like I was just doing what I was supposed to do. And while the penny pension and aggressive saving then has definitely given me a lot of freedom now and helped give me a lot of experiences in preparing for the adult world, as they like to say, reflecting back, what I realized is that it was my mindset and not my behavior towards money that was the issue. So there are two types of people in life when it comes to money. There are natural savers and there are natural spenders. Contrary to popular belief, neither one of them is inherently wrong. What is most important is the reasoning behind the spending. Both of them have to be intentional. There's absolutely no reason for you to be saving just to be saving or to be investing just to be investing if you do not know why. The definition of a budget by Investopedia is the estimation of revenue or expenses over a future specific period of time. I would just simply call it a monthly evaluation of your spending habits, responsibilities, and priorities.
Wait, hold on. So I get what you're saying, Ace, about needing to have a budget and understanding how to budget and needing to know why I spend my money and do what I do with my money and all that. But like, how does that help me save money? Like, how does me spending more money help me save money? I don't get it.
As I mentioned in my stimulus check video, the keys to building wealth as well as establishing a successful budget is to know how much money you spend and be spending that money and utilizing that money strategically and intentionally. Creating a flexible budget as well as financial plan is fundamental in the creation of wealth and investing as well as financial freedom. And just as important is to know and to set your intentions. What brings you genuine satisfaction and freedom? What makes you happy genuinely? And if you were already a millionaire, or if you were already financially independent and free, if you could envision your rich life, what do you think you would be spending the most money on? Once you determine that, you can set money aside to begin spending in those individual categories, then you can reduce spending in those other categories. That's how you can spend more and save more at the same time. If you focus in on the categories that you actually get fulfillment from, you don't have to worry about spending money in those other categories, and then you can save more money than you're spending. For the vast majority of people, the reason why they cannot stick to a budget is because psychologically they feel like it is taking away from the things that they genuinely love and care about, which is why I encourage people to double down on the categories that you genuinely care about. If you double down on the categories you genuinely care about, you'll look forward to saving as well as spending the money because you know that the money is being put to good use because it's going towards things that you actually care about. But without further ado, let's actually dive into my monthly budget so that I can show you the specifics of it and the details of how it actually really works. Okay, you guys, so what I'm about to do very quickly is I'm about to show you my actual personal budget for this month, and then I will show you a sample one so that I can have you guys follow along so you can get an idea of how to really use this, right? So let's go to my notes. And here we have my current budget for this month. It's running from June 2nd through the 1st. The reason why that is because I started the other one on the 5th of May. They ran through the 1st, so it's the 2nd through the 1st.
You can have a 28-day cycle. You can have it be on a month-to-month basis. It really doesn't matter. It's however you would like to do it. But this is just how I decided to set up mine. I made some additional notes in between each one of the months of any strange spending that I had, any trends that I noticed, any things that I thought that I might spend additional money on, any things that I thought that I needed to think about for that month. So, for example, I had me starting my YouTube, so I delegated more money into my monthly subscriptions. I increased the amount of money for my gas because I spent more on my deliveries, doing my food deliveries. I made adjustments about what it is I thought we could do with the leftover money. I noticed that I spent an extra $46 in health and wellness. I said right here to make a new line going into next month for personal health and wellness, as well as personal care items. So just to go over this very, very quickly. So we start down here with the cash in, cash out. The cash in is the total amount of money that you budgeted for that month for your living expenses, right? The cash out is the amount of money that you actually end up spending. Hypothetically, and in the perfect scenario, these numbers should be equal. If your cash out is less than the amount of your cash in, then the difference you can roll over into next month, or you can invest that, or you can save that. You can decide what it is that you want to do that. If you end up spending more for the first month or two, that's perfectly fine because you're still trying to get a rough idea of how much you really spent. But moving forward, what you want to do is you want the cash out and the cash in number to be a hard cap. So you can spend however much you want in any category, granted that you pay all your bills, obviously, in any category as long as you do not go over that hard cap, right? So, for example, I budgeted $50 a month for Wildcard. And Wildcard I defined as spending on any type of different purchase. So that could be me purchasing masks. That could be me buying something from the store. It could be me buying anything that's random that's not in a specific category that we budgeted for. I withdrew money from clothing. So you could transfer money in between categories. So I ended up spending slightly less on gas, or I transferred $10 out of gas and I transferred $6 out of clothing, right? But let's go to the actual cash in, cash out before the sample, and I will define all these things for you. So here are some notes and some of the steps and guidelines that I've come up with for the cash in, cash out money management system. So all purchases throughout the month, I will pay for on my credit card. This is only simply because I have my credit card and I get cashback bonuses as well as some purchase protection and stuff like that. If you do not have your credit card yet, that is perfectly fine. You can put it on your debit card, or you can withdraw all of this in cash and you could pay for everything in cash. Cash will only be used when necessary. The reason why I said that cash will only be used when necessary is because since I'm spending on my credit card, it's more beneficial for me to just pay for everything on the card and pay off the card and get the cash back than to just use the cash. But once again, if you have a debit card, it's perfectly fine. All spending within the month must be tracked and deducted from each corresponding category. So as we showed here in my other one, oops, my laptop's about to die. I'm trying to hurry up. As we show here in my actual budget, I made adjustments. So this line is for category adjustments. So any money that I transfer in between categories, I show here. And then this down here is the actual set amount that I budgeted for each one of the categories. And then this is my actual current balances that I have available left for each one of the categories. So as I spend and as I make adjustments, I get to see what it is that's where the money is going to and how much money I'm actually spending. Money can be transferred between categories. That's what I just showed. Any money not spent in a category can be saved, rolled over, invested, whatever you would like to decide to do with it. It's perfectly up to you. But I've been deciding to just roll the money over. Moving forward, I'll probably be investing it. And cash out money is not to be spent. So what I did was I purchased some money envelopes, some money budgeting envelopes. I'll put a link to them in the description. If you would like to just use the free envelopes that you get from the bank and just write on them, that's perfectly fine as well. I took them. I wrote out each one of my categories on them. And then each month I take out my cash in envelope. I take my cash in envelope. I put all the money in that envelope. And then when I get home, I divide it up into each one of my categories. And then when I'm done for the month, I take the cash out envelope, take it out of the cash out envelope, put it back in the cash in envelope, and then take that with me. So I define cash in as the total budget living expenses that you have for the month, which is what is taken out of the bank, as I just explained. I have a few categories here. I'll just define a few of them. You can create whatever categories you would like. So I divided up groceries and dining into two separate categories. So grocery I define as food and supermarket shopping. Dining I define as restaurant, fast food, and ordering out. Gas I define as traveling and trips to the gas station. I have monthly subscriptions such as for my Apple Music, for my Netflix, for my Amazon Prime, for my Audible, etc. We have entertainment. Entertainment I define as a broad category for things such as video games, to movies, to concerts, to networking events, to if I do traveling. And then wild card, like I said, is just any random purchases that don't fit into any categories. So the key to this budget is for you to determine what it is that is most important to you. Once you determine which categories are most important to you, you can transfer and begin to shift more of your money into the categories that are important to you and take money away from the things that aren't necessary while still spending the same amount, if not less. So let's say hypothetical, let's say that my budget item that I really like mine is actually food, but we'll just say for this is personal care, right? So for right here, I have $100 budget for the personal care. What I could do is if I decided that the personal care is important, I could take $50. I could take $50 out of the clothing. I could take $25 out of the clothing, and I could put this up here. I could put this with this, and I can increase my amount. Or I decide, hey, you know, personal care is important to me, but I don't know, the wild card isn't really necessary. I'm going to just budget that later, or I'll put that into a different category. So you can get rid of that, then you could add more money into this. And you could add into the additional categories, and you make your adjustments up here. Or say, hypothetically, you decide, oh, well, dining is actually really important to me, but I don't really go grocery shopping. So you could get rid of the groceries, and you could just have more money that you dedicate to your dining out. You could just eat out. And you could have your two high categories be the dining and for the personal care. Or you realize my housing budget is kind of cutting into my monthly spending. Maybe I should renew my lease at a different rate, or maybe I should try to find cheaper housing. And then you could bring this down. If you bring this down, then you could put another $100 into each one of these categories. So it's about determining and figuring out what it is that's most important to you. As you figure out what it is that is most important to you, you can better budget for and spend the money that you have on the things that you actually care about. And it's not going to be as strenuous because you actually are spending the money on things that you care about.
And thank you for watching this video. I hope you got some enjoyment out of it as well as found it entertaining. I look forward to seeing you guys' budgets, and make sure you check out some of the links I have down in the subscription for the money envelopes as well as some of the investing apps that I use so that you can get some free stocks. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.